The other day I did a little something about a clutch pressure plate, but to follow that on, I think we should have a look at a clutch friction plate and what signifies the differences in clutches and heavy duty and this, that, the other. Now I'm talking specifically Defenders here, but most clutches are generally the same. Basically, this one here was out of a 300 TDI, and this one here I think was out of a 2.5. I say I think because I got them both out of the scrap bin. But basically it's just friction material riveted to a metal plate, and you've got a centre drive here and some springs. Now the springs are very important because they cushion the torque of the difference between the flywheel speed and the gearbox speed. It makes it nice and soft, if you see what I mean, so that you don't get that harsh clunky. Now, some of you might have noticed when you put a very heavy duty clutch in, such as this, you will get your gearbox rattling, and it's a strange phenomenon because the shaft sometimes can rattle inside the gearbox. It's difficult to explain, so what I'm going to do with this one in particular, I'm going to drill it open so we can see inside, and maybe I can explain it better. In fact, I might just drill them both open and see, because the only thing that holds them together are 4 little rivets here, and this one's got 4 little rivets here. This is a Valeo one, and well, that's a Valeo one too, completely different look. But the same diameters, don't worry about that, and the same splines, 24 spline. This one here is 235mm diameter, same as this one. But if you want to do a heavy duty clutch, it's 242mm, a whopping, what, 7mm bigger. Well, that's not going to make much of a difference. You see, when I did my Isuzu, I managed to take the centre out of one of these clutches. I can't remember which sort it was, I'll know when I see it. And I put the centre of the TDI clutch into the and swapped it over for a 3.9 Isuzu, which was 12-inch diameter, and also the material was very, very thick all the way around. It was huge, so I don't think we'll be having much problems with that. So let me drill these out and let me show you what the difference is inside. So with the rivets drilled out, we'll do this one first. Let's see if it will. Probably not. Oh, that's tight. There we go. There we go. That's it here all the time. That's it. So now we should be able to take this off. So we might have springs everywhere. Let's see. No, we don't. So now we can see how this works. You see, this bit turns, and it's allowed to turn a little bit. So all your power goes through your friction plate here, and all the power to the actual drive is transferred just through this little piece of metal here onto here. Now, if we take this piece out and put that spring back in there, you'll see that the springs are attached to this plate. So they drive this centerpiece here. Now it's all going out of line now, but you'll get the idea. So let's take this piece out, and lo and behold, this is exactly the same clutch that I fitted to the Isuzu. I'll explain in a minute. So power is coming through here, transferred to this plate through the springs, and the springs will move, and you can see how the progressive, you see these big springs here take up the force first, and then when they compress, these little ones will take up the slack. So it's really sort of moving around. I can't move it too much with my fingers because it's all going to move. But you can see now how it moves on the spring, and then that plate will deliver the torque to this drive gear. Now we take this piece out, and I'm going to keep this because this is going to be like gold dust. This has got two little springs in here, and it sits just in there, and that's just allowed to move just that little bit more. Alright, and these are just shims just to keep it compressed and in place, if you see what I mean. You can see those are going to keep it all in place. So now let's have a look at the other one. So now let's have a look in the heavy duty clutch. That's if this will open. There we go. This is why it's not really sort of very easy to recondition. All you can do is really, if you want to recondition it, is they'll just put new linings on, drill the rivets out and put new linings on. They won't really touch this bit. But, and to be honest, I've never seen one with broken springs. Well, I have one or two, but not that many. So let's have a look. And this is it, first time. Exactly the same idea. Alright, but this time we've got 8 springs. But if you noticed, the distance is progressively smaller. But it's exactly the same idea. I'll try and take this centerpiece out. Well, they're going to stay in there. There you go. So that's going to go into there. Hey, all those Valeo clutches are the same. So if you want to get an Isuzu clutch, get a Valeo one. They're easy to swap out. When I say they're easy to swap out, when I took my clutch to bits and put this centre boss, this centre drive into the Isuzu, I'll put a series of pictures on afterwards with a little bit of a description, and you'll understand how I did it. But I got my machine shop to make me some new standoff posts, and then I just hard riveted them together, and it worked very, very well. Oh, and I had to do a little bit of a bushing around that sleeve there, but that was okay. So all your power from your plate here, your friction plate, is transferred via this very, very thin metal disc. So just be careful when you're putting all that power through your Land Rover or whatever car you've got, that's sort of the weak spot here. You know, you've got all these beefy bits here, but you've only got that bit. So again, when we put this, we'll take the springy bits off, we don't need them. But you'll see, have I got that right? Probably not. Yeah, I think I've got it right. Probably not. Ah, here we go. That's how it goes. So your force from your springs as it's been twisted, as this is turning, so you're changing gear, and this is constantly going round. But remember, there's a resistance from your gearbox shaft through your drivetrain. So it's like a cushion drive, if you see what I mean. So your springs are actually driving this, and then this drives this piece in here, when I can put it together right. So those pieces drive together, alright? So 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got four steps of motion to get it into your drive shaft, of your input shaft of your gearbox. So that's basically how they work. If you've got any questions, let me know. But like I say, I'll put some pictures later to show you how I transformed this piece into an Isuzu one. Now, in the old days, if you want a bit of history, this is called a dry clutch, but in the old days they used to use a wet clutch, and all it was little bits of round cork pressed through this plate. I don't think there was any of this Cush drive or anything like this, and your bell housing was full of oil. It was just like a motorcycle really, but again, them cars were only like 20-30 horsepower, so they didn't have much power. But that's the thing. And then this was the big modern invention to do a friction plate, a dry clutch, and that's it. That's all there is to it. So of course, the more springs there are, the heavier the drive it will take. Now, of course, I'm only talking about Defenders here. I'm only talking Land Rover Defenders. I'm not talking about high performance cars with, you know, different types of clutches and different ceramic pads and stuff like that. I'm not interested in that. That's as far as we go. These are 300 TDI clutches, 2.5 diesels, all the old school stuff that everybody's sort of really forgotten about now. They've all moved on. But the TD5 has a completely different system. And the TD5 has what's called a dual mass flywheel. So there's one part of the casting sandwiched between rubber, and the cushion drive is actually in the flywheel itself. So the clutch plate is solid. There's only that. No springs, that's all. No movement, it's completely solid. Now, there is an upgrade kit for the TD5, which consists of a solid flywheel, just like 300 TDI, but they put one of these type of clutches in. But there is a cleaver with that. It will make your gearbox chatter, or it may make your gearbox chatter. It's funny. It's a strange phenomenon. Go and have a look on Ashcroft websites, because they haven't really sorted it out either. I don't think they know. But anyway, that's basically how a clutch works. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? So I'm going to hang on to that bit, because I think those bits are going to be handy if I ever do any more Isuzu conversions, because they are perfect. They just drop straight in, and that's all they do to change different types of clutches. Like they just change that middle piece, because this bit, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? It depends on your power of your car. So I hope you like that, and that's making the Land Rover a lot better if you've got a good clutch. So we'll make these Land Rovers better one at a time. Talk to you later.